subspecies of vampire. I must find a place to analyze the blood.
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... Who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again. From a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
And for that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this... affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy,
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming. We'll have a word in my office later, Jonathan.
Come on, you bastard! You can do better than that! Nah! It's my turn!
Rotten or pristine, each heart contains the seeds of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite!
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
Alright, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay.
Follow me, Mr. Cox.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go, but no famished hunter can run for long.
Good evening, nurse.
Dr. Swansea...
Did he really?
All members of staff have...
I see.
You must know...
How are things here?
Not...
An invisible...
Sorry, Doctor.
Do you think this hospital...
We are all
I'm not familiar with...
Brilliant profession.
Most of...
It would be...
Is there anyone...
Well...
Why should his...
I guess it's fair...
Nurse Brannigan,
No.
Goodbye, nurse.
Doctor, where have you been?
I found a wounded...
Already making the round.
Thank you, nurse.
Dr. Swansea insisted...
Thank you.
Yes, Doc.
I would like to ask a few... And Mr.
I gave him a
What kind?
Will you accept...
Apologies.
Dr. Swansea.
It's right.
You'll get to know him.
If you could point me...
Second floor.
Thank you, Nurse Crane. Good evening, sir.
I've already heard about you, Doc.
That's quite a...
You can call me...
I'm not sure...
Well, I'm no...
You have a key...
No need to...
I'd like to see...
Wise choice, Doc.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How is the situation?
You want to hear the sit?
So what do you do?
I've been in
Since you're...
It's a
It sounds...
Yesterday.
You left?
Go there yourself.
Are you really...
And why not?
But you're not
You keep people alive.
Goodbye, Milton. Good evening, sir.
So it is true.
Do we know it?
Actually, yeah.
Dr.
He was also...
What is the pet?
This hospital...
It's more than enough.
Don't be...
What is the pem?
This hospital...
It's more...
Don't be...
What can you tell?
Some are...
Tell me more.
Nurse...
You really seem...
I'll go even...
Any opinion?
I don't know...
Ah, yes.
Don't get me wrong.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No.
Nurse Brannigan, you don't have to... Goodbye, Doc. Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The daily...
Good evening, miss. I'm...
Your name has no meaning.
I beg your...
What are you begging for, more?
You keep...
Well,
And why do you...
I don't need to believe...
I see.
Never.
It-
Delusional, you...
Please.
I can...
I'm assuming you...
It's only a cover.
Who are the...
I can...
The staff here...
I'm not speaking.
I see.
Thank you.
Who are you, Rick?
Is that not in...
I'm curious.
No, it's such a...
I'll leave you, mistress of...
Damn.
Good evening, sir.
Unless you're it.
I'm Dr. Reed.
You guessed right.
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft?
To wait for her.
Aren't you afraid?
She's quiet.
So do you let her?
And why not?
She could
And it's another
You do realize
in her mad.
where we...
I really.
No offense.
You were enough.
How is your...
Oh, it's.
Can I ask you?
It's the pain.
Can I do it?
Nurses.
Who is treating you?
Nobody since.
You don't seem...
With face.
Goodbye for now.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton.
Dr. Reed, is it?
What do you mean?
I was not myself.
You remained...
Thank you, Doctor.
Have you made...
Not really.
You never came...
You're preaching to the
What do you do for a living?
I manage an...
Are you a priest?
Not at all.
Why didn't...
That's a very strange...
How do you...
I feel exhausted.
You're in good hands.
Thank you, sir.
How did you end up...
I had received alarming...
Why?
William wasn't at...
You dared to...
I'm just a man.
What is the general...
The situation is all...
Who leads...
Since Clay Cox...
Has the gang been...
Ah, no.
Do you know Tom?
Tom? Yes.
People are still...
How could it be other...
Who should I avoid?
Not really.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton.
Damn.
It's locked, all right.
It's here again.
Good evening, Doctor.
Dr. Reed. I am throat...
Please, could you tell...
I'm a great admirer.
What made you...
I'm not ashamed to admit...
It's always a...
This epidemic may be...
I based my tech...
I'd rather not talk about...
As long as you're cautious.
You're not the first one to warn.
What can you tell me?
Well, it has always been...
You seem quite optimistic.
I'm convinced that the...
Questions remain.
True, true.
Do you need help with it?
Well, yeah.
Do you want me to play the...
Oh, no, Dr. Reed.
I see. Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical tech.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient...
What is it you really want?
Fair question.
This person...
I agree.
Do you think keeping his...
All I know is that I'm taking...
Tell me, Mr.
Our first diagnosis...
But why would he hide?
Because he is a proud...
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Thank you, Nurse Crab.
Waste your time with me.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you.
I'm Dr. Jonathan...
I'm Beatrice Gos...
What can you...
Not much to...
Are you...
Yes.
May I ask...
I'm a teacher.
What do you think?
I have had the
Is there something in...
Some of the staff were not as...
Tell me more about your arrival at...
The ambulance driver was quite...
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed.
I share your concern.
I don't expect...
She chopped...
Yes.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Never could keep anything from her.
Good evening. I'm...
No,
Rick.
I don't want to.
I suppose...
Yes,
Could you at least...
Mortimer.
Tell me about you.
I don't want to.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized?
My mother just wants to.
Is your mother bothered?
That's tempting, Doc.
Pembroke
It's not me.
How painful.
So painful.
I'm sure you...
Not really.
I see.
Yes, maybe.
How painful.
So painful.
I'll let you get...
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
I'm so tired. Will this
What
shit
can I do?
never end?
If you could...
Second floor.
What kind?
Well, you accept.
Thank you. Good evening, sir.
I don't know if a third...
I see.
I'm Harvey.
Tell me about your
My wife died because of me.
How could your job be...
I was working at the...
You can't...
Of course I didn't know.
Tell me more about the...
1915.
What happened? I'm sorry.
I would like to say that
How are your children?
they were smaller then.
Tell me about the doc...
Strickland and Accra.
What do you mean?
I often had...
Tell me about...
I'm just a regular...
I was more curious...
I'm a carpenter.
Are you...
Well,
I won't...
are you sure you...
In other circumstances... Goodbye for now, Mr.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody... Good evening.
I need blood.
Tell me, Thelma. Would you say...
No.
Do you plan...
Of course not.
I'll leave you. Good evening, nurse.
Good evening.
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim...
If it wasn't for...
Dr. Tippett's...
If you're...
Goodbye, nurse. Good evening, Dr.
Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The
I retrieved...
Well, yeah.
Not at all.
Good. Please.
What's going on between you and...
Pippa's tight.
During the...
Maybe you're right.
You do realize...
Come on, Doctor.
Goodbye, Milton. It's locked. This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin. William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But the sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now. I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for